don't really have anything over, and I think we've hit on the cell phone coverage and things like that. Just the only thing I will mention on our payroll transition to the new system, we put that on hold till the prosecutor, I talked with the prosecutor and assistant prosecutor concerning it, and they're gonna give the commission a plan on how to implement that. It may be a reduction, I mean, it may be backing up a day, a month over a period of 5 to 6 months or something of that nature, but they really haven't decided yet, but they will get in touch with us before we will implement the payroll changes to where we can have a payroll withholding of 5 to 6 days. And that's all I have. Mr. Matthews?
Yeah, just want to reemphasize, and I think I addressed this in the last meeting. Of course, we've already addressed the cell phone service. We've talked about that. That's been something that we've been working on. Something that I've been a part of with this Economic Development Authority. I've been working trying to get a farmer's market set up, a brick and mortar structure set up in Allen Creek. And you've seen the people who changed West Virginia, they were here. That's something that, of course, the EDA will have to approve, but that's really what I'm drilling down to. I really think that there is a big need in our area for that, and I think that there would be a need in every district for a farmer's market, and I think that you all would probably agree with that. So if we could possibly help support that effort, I think it's going to benefit all of Lincoln County. One other thing that I was thinking about, and I want to say appreciate you coming in and filling us in, Josh, on what's going on with Senate Bill 541. And one of the things that I was thinking about was, you know, this has been 6 years in the making. And you know, one of the things that as you were talking, I'm vaguely familiar with whenever you start talking about local share, you start talking about the rec decision. But after 6 years, seeing that there has been no change basically in the local share that's been given to the Board of Education, I keep thinking back to the late 90s. How long, my question is how long has this been going on? Has our property valuations been suppressed, and how long has that happened? Because one of the things that whenever the state took over Lincoln County Schools was that we couldn't fund 4 schools, okay? And whenever I start thinking about what's went on in the past 6 years, the very thing that whenever you were talking, I started thinking, hey, listen, if this was the case now, how long has this been going on? And if we actually had someone that was taking care of business, then, and this is hypothetically, this is speculative, but if we had someone taking care of business then, maybe whenever the State Department cited Lincoln County Schools not being able to afford 4 schools, or not being financially responsible, or not being able, or not actually having a large local share, maybe that would have changed the argument. And if that was the case, then we wouldn't have kids from Harts Creek going to Logan County, and we wouldn't have people riding an hour-long bus rides. And that's what I think about, because that's one thing that when you look at Lincoln County and you look at the past 30 years, that's one of the things that has absolutely crushed our communities, was a consolidation. And for me, whenever I think about what's going on, when you're talking about local share from the county government, and if you're thinking about people not doing their job, how long has that went on? And if that was the case in 2007, and this has persisted for the past 6 years, how deep-rooted was this, and how long has this went on? Because I think if that was the case, then and we had actually people who were willing to make hard decisions, even though they were elected, they make hard decisions, then it would have really taken the bite out of the State Department's call that, hey, listen, we didn't have any money. And that could have possibly changed the consolidation effort in Lincoln County. Because I know that there are counties surrounding Lincoln County who have very, very small schools, but yet they are financially sound. And the State Department never goes in there. You never see it. Bama High School has under 240 kids, 6 through 12. And they're not even talking about consolidating. So, I mean, that's one of the things that I think about. And I'm not real happy about this because I have 4 sons that are going to Lincoln County schools. And this bill is going to absolutely destroy our budget at the board's office. It will. This will be devastating. And it's going to be devastating to the taxpayer. And to think that we've had a storm coming in for 6 years and no one knew about it. It's like having Hurricane Katrina right at your back door and you haven't even boarded up your windows. I mean, that's what amazes me. And if you're not mad about that, you should be. You need to check your pulse. That's all I have to say.
Just one comment along that same line. I know I was on the board back when we tried to pass the 2 high school plan to consolidate Hamlin and Duval and Guyan Valley and Harts, which was a much better plan for our county than the 1 high school plan. Because you had your youngest kids traveling the least distance, because you could still have 4 middle schools and 6 elementary. And Fred was on it back there. We worked on it together and tried to get that plan passed, but it wasn't passed. But I'll be honest with you, I am very familiar with the REC decision. I have seen it, good things happen because of it. I've seen a lot of bad things happen in Lincoln County because of it. So it's ironic that based in this county, that decision was made, and it hurt us, I think, more than it would people in urban areas where they don't have very far to travel and things of that nature. If you look at transportation costs, I know when I was on the Board of Education, it was, you know, this 1 high school plan really didn't have a good way to take care of all that, but I thought we really did back, and I know Mr. McCann supported the 2 high school plan when we had it. But, you know, this REC decision has been bad on all of us. I don't know. There are probably areas it has helped, but I'm much like, you know, I went to Aytonville Elementary where I started out from. It was a small school, and you know, there's a lot to be said for small schools. There's a lot to be said for them being the heart of our communities. And when you tear a high school out, you tear the heart of that community away. And I think that's the sadness about it all. Yeah, it's really sad that people, you know, go to George Washington, people go to Chapmansville, but it's the whole community. It's just not the kids. It's everybody that lives in those communities affected by that decision. And I think it was much more far-reaching than Judge Reck ever imagined it would be. That's all.
Well, you know, it is a serious issue and definitely needs to be addressed. And the problem is, if you start comparing counties, Lincoln County, really the tax base is the homeowner. And we have very little industry, some coal, some oil, gas. But I think that if you try to make comparisons like that, it's difficult to see how one county may have a better tax base than others. Not always on the tax rate. It's based on what type of industries there, what type of resources developed. So it's going to be a tough issue for the homeowner in Lincoln County because that's where the majority of the tax base is. And certainly the school board is put in a no-win situation. On one hand, trying to say, well, we need an excess levy to run the schools, and they'll still need that. But if you turn around and raise property taxes, which is going to happen, then the people who are voting to support that excess levy may say, well, I'm giving you money here, I'm not giving you any more. It's going to be a tough issue, and Fred dealt with it forever, and I'm sure he's well aware of the uphill battle that's going to be. Just a couple of things. I did come up like Saturday and see what was going on in the courthouse here with the cleaning and the restructuring, where they're trying to work on the bricks and stop the leaks. And a fellow named Mike Stalling was leading that work. He's a block layer, stone layer, mason. And he did tell me and showed me some evidence of taking a hammer and pecking on those bricks, and the mortar that's holding them in place just falls right out. And he thinks the time he gets through, everything will be all right. And I said, well, how long is that going to last? He said, well, you're talking about 15 more years, but he said it's a serious issue of deterioration since 1964. He just wanted to make sure that the commission understood what was going on up there. The other thing he wanted to talk about was, there's a monument out in the front yard of the flagpole, First World War of people who died in action. He wanted to know if it was all right to go ahead and clean that and fix it up, and I told him I'm sure that no commissioner had any problem with that. So on his own time, he's going to do some cleanup and fixing of that. I did have opportunity to attend two meetings while I was last meeting, and that was Ambulance Authority and Tri-River Transit, and also two meetings by phone. That was Region 2 this week, and then Tri-River Transit, part of the meeting I got to do on the phone. The Farmland Protection Board is still trying to get the McComas Farm in protection, but there's a lot of paperwork, but that's still going. The only other item I have to mention is, well, I really got two. One is, we have not had opportunity yet to award a contract for the mowing of the three parcels that we've been concerned about. And one is the Edward Allen Creek at the Yeager Monument. And I don't know, I think my suggestion would be that we let the people who've been doing it clean it up and take care of it until we get a contract award. It's looking sort of shabby. Okay.
So all that stuff's been bid.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's bid out.
Yeah.
Okay.
We received two bids this morning.
And the other item I'd like to mention, down the road, I'd like the commission to consider, is that with the Hatfield-McCoy road opening on McCorkle Road, being insinuated that this was done on a short basis, and I'd like to take a minute and explain my reason for why I took the position I did and why I take the position I still have, is that when the discussion here at the meeting took place with the landowner that has proposed coming in and putting in a store and putting in cabins, Mr. White, Mount Chapmansville, it seemed like to me that the whole discussion was, well, let's talk about that, let's look at that, maybe seriously consider a very small portion of the McCorkle Road where he would have access, where people could have access to his properties, and then back to the trail. And I guess I felt like it, the people who live on McCorkle Road, the people who've been there forever, if they want to look at some type of business development, they shouldn't be held up from doing that. So I had definitely had conversation with Gloria Brown, since she was the person who set up the first meeting with Mr. Moeller to talk about bringing the Hatfield-McCoy to Ivy. So she had expressed from the get-go, I want to be involved in this, I want to be able to develop business, and she already has two cabins developed. And one of those cabins been occupied by one of the rangers that's on that system over there. So I felt like we should at least go that far. But what I'm proposing here today is, I think we've done the right thing with what we did, but we need to go farther. I think we need to open up all of McCorkle Road from the 119 road over to 214. Open the whole road up, not discriminate against anyone, but make it available for anyone living on that road and the side roads, develop cabins, whatever it may be that they want to do, but they should not be disenfranchised from that. That's all I have.
Do you have anything, Mary? There'll be no other business, so I ask for a motion to adjourn the commission till, I think it's July 18th.
July 18th.
At 6 p.m.
I move.
Just saying.
I said.
We stand adjourned. Thank you.